Good day buddies. I'm glad to have you here on another DIY build. In one of our previous short video I showed you how to make a water tower. Now, it's time to show you how to use, or install them on an actual ant farms. I'm going to use a Syn Cole board, and cut the pieces needed to make the mold. If you have container to use, that's fine as well. Anyway, we drilled holes for each of the bolt heads, so we can set the acrylic glass cover flat inside the mold. And of course, we also drilled holes for the nest entrance, expansion, and hydration port. Then using hot glue we are going to assemble the mold, by just attaching each corners from the outside. This way we can easily open it later. We can apply additional glue like from the bottom, to make sure the mold is sturdy enough to hold the mixture we're going to use. For the glass cover, we use 2 square nuts for each of the bolts. One to the very end, and another one to hold the bolt and glass together. We'll just place it like this and proceed on preparing the mixture. We need to mix the media for at least 15 minutes before the application, to allow the mixture's chemical reaction. Anyway, we ran out of sanded grout buddies, so we're going to mix one ourselves. What we have here is a plain grout powder, and we'll just mixing fine sand to it to make a sanded grout. We did a 6 parts grout, and 4 parts sand. We're going for a watery mixture, and mix it thoroughly, for at least 5 minutes. Then like I said before, we're going to let it rest for at least 15 minutes before application, just enough time for us to set up the chamber guides, which is my favorite part of the build. But before we get to the exciting part, let me express my gratitude to our latest super thanks senders, Syn Cole and Mototechi. Thank you buddies for the love and support to the channel. Please allow me to also greet Mototechi a belated happy birthday. Let me also say welcome back buddies. And for those new to the channel, you're also welcome to D-Colony. For the ant farm's chamber construction, we're going to use this tea light cup. The same size and material we use on making the water towers. We'll just filling it with moist sand. We need to consider the space for the tower, since we're placing it like this. So for the first chamber, we're not filling it up to the brim with sand. Just like this. We can freely adjust them anytime, so we don't need to worry much on the placements. We're just setting the water tower on top of this chamber, with mesh facing downward. Let's also install the straw for hydration, before we forgot. This will be the most humid chamber, so I want to make it bigger than the others. Just by adding moist sand manually. We're also covering this side of the water tower, which will give us a way to check the water level later on. Make sure to press the sand firmly to the cups, to avoid something like this to happen. We can easily shape it back though, we'll just be delayed a little. By adding sand manually like this, we can also change the shape of the chambers as we wish. Like what I'm doing here, this is just a sample. And I don't have problem with the circular chambers, so we're not adding sand into the next ones. We're now installing tubes for the entrance and expansion port. We'll just make sure to cover any gaps in between with sand. I'm making sure that the chambers is far enough to the corners, to make thicker outer walls. For our ant farm to be more secured, from future escapee or invaders. And to finish off the chambers, we're now connecting them by making sand tunnels as well. As simple as this. After establishing the connections, we're now ready to pour the media we mixed earlier. We'll just go slowly first, and fill those spaces in between the chambers. To make sure that there won't be huge air pockets, and that they won't collapse or move from their positions if we pour the mixture. After completely covering the tunnels and tubings, we're now ready to pour it down. We're simply letting it dry for 2 days at least before opening, to make sure the nuts inside won't move if we try to loosen up the bolts. And before this one, let's check the smaller version I made 3 days ago. We just need to cut this hardened glue on the corners. And we got those nicely done chambers. We'll just remove the glass, and clear up the sand. We'll rinse it later. Now let's check their other one we all made together 2 days ago. Let's also clear the sand quickly, and rinse it with water. Install the glass cover back. We can use magnets instead of this bolt and nuts buddies, but if you do, consider using real glass at the same time, since acrylic glass bend over time, especially if the magnets used isn't strong enough. Silicone plugs to the hydration port, so water evaporation only happens inside the nest. Just like that. And our brand new flat nest is done. Let me know what do you think of it, in the comments below buddies. The chambers are huge, so bigger ants like Camponitus would suit them well, but let's see what ant colony will end up here. I just hope you have learned something from this video, guys. Be a genie for the first time, by granting my wish and tapping the like and share button, that would help a lot. This is D Colony, saying goodbye for now, but hoping to see you on my next videos.